So once again, thank you for your active participation. I'm Leslie Mills with the Global Road Safety Facility, GRSF. And I would also like to thank the earlier presenters for providing the aspects to do with infrastructure and speed. I'm coming to talk about another aspect which is also very important as relates to safe vehicles. And the reason why this is important is from the current slide, you can see that the growth of vehicles across the world has been growing substantially. In the 2000s, it was under 1 billion vehicles, but in 2018, it had crossed the 2 billion mark. And in fact, the growth varies across regions. On the screen, what you would see is that East Asia and Pacific is the fastest growing, followed by South Asia, and then Latin America and the Caribbean was the third fastest region when it comes to motorization. The way we like to look at this from the World Bank perspective is within the framework called motorization management. And here we are looking at the growth and use of vehicles as relates to road safety, air quality, and decarbonization. There's an element of speed in all of this. Research has shown that safe speeds contribute to benefits when it comes to reducing fatalities and serious injuries. In terms of air quality, safe and sustainable speeds reduces the concentration of pollutants and makes the environment healthy, especially for people who reside along some of these road corridors. And then when it comes to decarbonization, once again, safe and sustainable speeds contribute to pushing for a safe, green and sustainable climate. So within the context of motorization management and as relates to speed, we like to look at this through the road safety, air quality, and decarbonization perspectives. Next slide, please. Sorry. Yeah. I just spoke about this, apologies. So once again, it's through the framework of motorization management, road safety, air quality, and decarbonization. Next slide, please. When it comes to speed, and as discussed with in terms of infrastructure and vehicle speeds specifically, it starts with having a speed management policy or an action plan. And the reason being that vehicle speeds correlate with land use planning, infrastructure, the design of the infrastructure, enforcement, the way other road users use roads, and so on and so forth. So it's very important that there should be a strong policy. And then after the policy, we recognize the role of vehicles in helping to avoid crashes. When such technology is used, it's called active safety technology. Vehicles equally can also help to protect occupants when crashes occur. As we know, crashes are inevitable. So should these crashes occur, the vehicles play an important role in this regard. Next slide, please. No, the previous one, sorry. Yes, so this slide gives an example of active safety systems. It has some to do with speed, the adaptive cruise control, automatic braking systems, the intelligent speed adaptation, as well as other active safety features that can help drivers avoid road crashes. Next slide, please. And then these are examples of features that help when crashes occur: seat belts, airbags, helmets in the case of motorcyclists. Next slide, please. Now, briefly, I want to talk about the intelligent speed adaptation system, which has been used in regions where some benefits have been seen. It's similar to your Google Maps, just that in addition to the or any form of digital maps, just that in addition to the maps, you also have information regarding speed. Some of this information can voluntarily support driving. In some jurisdictions, it's mandatory. But as I said, in regions that have used this, they've seen slower speeds and more uniform speeds. They've seen a reduction of serious crashes. And Europe is moving ahead rapidly with utilizing this technology. In Latin America, through the Global Road Safety Facility and some cities, we've started working with the cities and updating their speed limit maps, or if where these maps are not existent, we are helping them to have these. So we are doing work currently in Buenos Aires, Bogota, and Mexico City, pushing for this. Next slide, please. So next slide, quickly, in the interest of time. I have to say that when it comes to speed technology and vehicles in general, it's a collaborative effort between car manufacturers, governments, local authorities, importers, those who provide the parts during repair, and the like. So each of these have to identify their role and collaborate to making sure that speed technologies are out there for the public. Next slide, please. Yes, you can click on the next. Yes. And quickly, when it comes to public authorities or governments, it's not just about good governance. There's also the technical specifications that are needed to ensure that the vehicles that are entering the stream have these safety technologies on board, and also making sure that there's the rule of law in place to ensure that drivers or importers adhere to these applications or technologies. Next slide, please. An example is from Mexico, where they passed the law in 2022 that all new vehicles have to meet certain safety systems and standards. In addition to the law, they have in place regulations to ensure that these standards are in place. There are some that are not yet in place, some of these active safety systems that the country is working on. But I just wanted to put this example in there to show that regulations have to work hand in hand with technical specifications. Next slide, please. There's also the Global New Car Assessment Program that aims to promote safe vehicles and safe technology. Alejandro will speak more to that, so I won't spend too much time on that. Next slide. And then I have to say that in some of our countries, there are new vehicles, there are used vehicles. NCAP provides a way by which these assessments can be made using star ratings. Next slide, please. Now, this is an example for trucks and buses where fleet monitoring occurs to ensure that drivers are moving at safe and sustainable speeds. Their movements along the corridor can be geo-referenced, the times by which they start and end, the acceleration pattern, as well as safe belt use can also be assessed. Next slide, please. And for these in-vehicle monitoring systems, some of the benefits that have been recorded: reduction in speeding, reduction in serious crashes, increased safety belt rates, and the like. And then quickly, the next slide, please. I just want to emphasize that when vehicles are being looked at, it has to be the whole spectrum. When the vehicles first enter the fleet, as they move through the fleet, as they are used, monitoring has to occur. And then finally, when the vehicles are not fit for purpose or need to be retired, that monitoring also has to occur. Next slide, please. And to do this, there are vehicle entry requirements. The United Nations has vehicle regulations that countries can adopt. It's important that for countries that import vehicles, there's data sharing with the countries that are exporting the vehicles, and there should be strong border inspections before the vehicles enter the country. Next slide. And once the vehicles are in service, there's a need for periodic inspection. As I mentioned, there has to be a strong aftermarket or spare parts industry, making sure that only approved parts are on the market. And there needs to be a database management system to ensure that all information regarding vehicles can be accessed. So let me end here and hand over to Alejandro to continue the next steps. Thank you very much.